The old cop Cooper did blink, looking up to stare at Colin with an expression of dread. Lads, he said, go get some aught to eat. We cannot leave the barrels unattended, Rob or Raymond countered. I've been seeing to Charing Cast since before ye da was a twinkling in your Signe's eye. Arnold retorted, Now get with ye. The entire time he spoke, his gaze remained on his employer. An uneasy shiver went down Colin's spine. Arnold Mackenzie had all the grace and subtlety of a newborn moose. And something clearly troubled him. News never brought an ounce of good. That was why he hadn't read one in 10 years. He glanced at lads running off into the kitchen, wishing for a moment he could join them. It had been a very long time since he'd run from anything, however. What's got your tongue tied then? Colin asked brusquely. We've work to do. I happened to glance down here, and I might have. I think I was. That is, spied the word Jerry. And I should never have told ye or Rory a thing about it, Callum retorted. Throw it in the fire. We've cast two ready. If Ian McCreath and his lovely wife had 10 strapping barns and had donating funds for a statue or a library or something, he didn't want to know about it. Arnold rocked from one foot to the other, but kept the paper clenched in his one good ash-stained hand. I cannot toss it away, lad, he finally said. It's but a few words left here. I can read it to ye, or ye can read it for yourself, but ye need to know what it says. The cold settled deeper, pinching at his lungs. Tell me then, he snapped, and making quick. I'm beginning to find ye annoying. The old man looked down at the paper again. Aye, he said, lowering his voice still further and cleared his throat. This paper's from New York, dated last December, though I cannot make out the precise date. I do not care where or when it's from, Callum interrupted. What does the fucking thing say? It's a headline, part of one, anyway. Year Geary drowned in Loch Brennan, Morn B. The Cooper read, sounding out the letters of the partial words as he went. And there's 2 words below I cannot make out. Accident in either weather or heather. He took a breath. Lad, I'm sorry, stop, Callum interrupted. Sound roared around him, filling his abruptly hollow chest. Men talking, the ring, and snap up chopping wood. Birds, the wind in the trees, up the hillside. He wanted to cover his ears, but his limbs had frozen. And through it all, one thought pierced him cold as winter and sharp as a knife. The news didn't surprise him. He thought he'd been avoiding news of family and friends and acquisitions, and Ian further entangling family business with Duncraig and Clan Maxwell. But the second Arnold Mackenzie had looked at him, the paper in his one good hand, Callum had known. Making himself pull in a breath, he put the firewood back in its stack and straightened. See to the cast, he ordered, and turned on his heel. Boyd sat in the office. Bills of Latin, ordering invoices and shipping schedules spread out before him on the desk. The 2 new lads fled past the window a moment ago. They weren't on fire, though, so I reckon. The Kentucky Hills foreman trailed off as he looked up. As his gaze found Callum, the half-smile dropped from his face and he stood. What the devil's happened? Did he look different? He felt different. He couldn't even put a name to the thoughts rumbling through his mind, except that he wanted to hit something badly. That letter from B. something. Did ye burn it? Nay, I'll do it now if you want. B. Give it to me. Without another word, Boyd dug it out from the desk and handed it over. His jaw clenched so hard he was surprised the bones didn't crack. Callum looked down at it. Addressed to him, from one Bartholomew Harvey, Esquire, a solicitor, a very English one from the name. Slicing his finger through the wax seal, he unfolded it. This, sir, he read to himself. This is my 4th attempt at reaching you. As I noted in my previous correspondence, I have been charged with informing you of the unfortunate death of Ian McCreath, Earl Geary. I will not discuss matters of inheritance, etc., herein
but request that you contact me immediately so we may conclude this business. I shall make one more attempt hereafter, but be aware that if unsuccessful, I will be forced to report to the crown that you are also deceased, and the Gary title will pass to your cousin James Sturgeon. Respectfully, Bartholomew Harvey, Esquire. Every word pounded like a hammer into his soul. Conclude this business, he growled. Aye, we bloody will. Callum, Boyd asked, his brow furrowed. You'll see to the business, Rory, he said, moving to shove the missile into his coat pocket, and then remembering he left the garment in the barrel tent. He would need it, and a few other things he could throw into his saddlebags. A trunk or two could follow. Aye, of course I will. What's afoot? I'm going back to Scotland, he returned, striding out of the room with Rory on his heels. I swore an oath to kill a man. Time for me to see to it. What? He sworn 10... He'd known 10 years ago, damn it all, and he's fled. He followed his brother's orders rather than stay put and keep an eye on the damn Duncraig. And now somehow the Duke had removed Ian from the equation, and so now the Duke and anyone else involved would pay in blood if he had burned down the bloody Highlands to do it. That is the end of the first chapter of A Devil in Scotland by Susan Enoch. Now, I've heard of her. I have a few books. I haven't quite read her. She does a lot of Highland novels. I love her voice. I love the humor. I'm not crazy about the accent, but I feel like if I pronounce it just right, it actually sounds like I'm in Scotland. So she has a knack for that kind of thing. And she's probably been out for 20, 30 years. I definitely will read the second chapter just because there's enough loose ends to make me interested in his character. It kind of seems like a wounded hero. And I love wounded heroes. I love flawed characters. It's something really, really forgiving about them, really, really romantic. Don't get enough romance from the first chapter, but I still will read it because I want to know how he transforms when he gets to Scotland. So that is my judgment of the first chapter, and I'll see you in the next video. Auf Wiedersehen.